New information this morning on the shocking death of actor Gene Hackman and his wife.
The house.
Are they moving at all?
No, dude, they're not moving. Just send somebody out here really quick.
This is so mysterious. They're in 3 separate areas. Gene Hackman, his wife, the dog.
Gene Hackman, the legendary 2-time Academy Award-winning actor, was found deceased alongside his wife, Betsy Arakawa, in their Santa Fe, New Mexico home on February 26, 2025. Authorities initially classified the case as an unattended death with no signs of forced entry or struggle. However, recent forensic analysis has led the FBI to a newly discovered recording made by Hackman before his passing. The recording, which was found on a personal device, was recovered after a digital forensics team restored lost data. Hackman, who was 95 years old at the time of his death, had been living a private life in retirement for over 2 decades. His wife, 65-year-old Arakawa, was a classical pianist. Their deaths were initially believed to be a tragic natural event, but inconsistencies in the timeline led investigators to take a closer look. Reports confirmed that Hackman's pacemaker data showed his heart had stopped on February 17, 2025, 9 days before their bodies were discovered. The state of decomposition suggested that Arakawa may have died a later time. Authorities stated that one of the couple's 3 dogs was also found deceased inside a closet, while the other 2 survived. The FBI's renewed interest in the case comes after the discovery of Hackman's last recorded message. The contents of this recording, according to law enforcement sources, provide key details that challenge the original assumptions surrounding his death. Officials are now analyzing additional evidence from the scene to determine whether foul play was involved. Forensic experts working with the FBI have confirmed that a digital recording was retrieved from a device belonging to Gene Hackman. The file, which had been partially deleted, was restored through advanced forensic software. Officials stated that the recording was time-stamped on February 17, 2025, the same day Hackman's pacemaker registered its final activity. Authorities disclosed that the audio contained Hackman's voice, sounding weak but coherent. Law enforcement sources indicated that the recording was brief, lasting only a few minutes, but contained significant information. Hackman can be heard mentioning a specific name, which had not been previously linked to the case. Investigators have not released this name publicly, but confirmed that it belonged to an individual who had interacted with Hackman and his wife before their deaths. The audio also captured disturbing background noises, including an abrupt thud followed by heavy breathing. Analysts working on the case determined that Hackman was aware of an immediate threat at the time of the recording. The nature of the threat remains under investigation, and authorities are now analyzing physical evidence from the residence to determine if there were signs of external interference. Investigators are currently examining whether Hackman made any attempts to contact authorities before his death. Phone records, emails, and security footage from nearby residences are being reviewed for additional clues. FBI sources confirmed that the contents of the recording have shifted the case from a presumed natural death to an active criminal investigation. Officials stated that the recording will play a central role in the next phase of the case. They are working to determine whether Hackman's final words provide direct evidence of an external cause leading to the deaths of both himself and Arakawa. Investigators revisited the crime scene after the discovery of Gene Hackman's final recording, looking for details that may have been previously overlooked. Initial reports had suggested no signs of forced entry or struggle, but inconsistencies in the scene prompted authorities to conduct a secondary forensic analysis. One of the key anomalies was the state of the home's entry points. The front door was unlocked, and the back door was left ajar at the time of discovery. The residence showed no evidence of a break-in, and valuables inside the home remained untouched. Authorities initially believed the doors may have been left open by accident, but given the new evidence from Hackman's recording, they are now considering the possibility that someone else entered or exited the home around the time of his death. Further examination of the home revealed an unusual positioning of the bodies. Hackman was found collapsed near the foyer, while his wife, Betsy Arakawa, was located in the bathroom near a countertop where several prescription medications were scattered. The timeline discrepancy remains a major point of investigation, as forensic experts suggested that Arakawa may have survived for days after Hackman's passing. Additionally, investigators noted a puzzling detail involving the couple's pets. 3 dogs were present in the home, but one was found deceased inside a closet, while the other 2 were still alive but visibly malnourished. Authorities stated that this detail raised new concerns, as it was unclear how one dog had died while the other survived under similar conditions.
I think we just found one deceased person inside the house.
Are they moving at all?
No, dude, they're not moving. Just send somebody out here really quick.
With the newly discovered recording, authorities are now reconsidering their original conclusions. The FBI has confirmed that they are now working to determine whether someone else was inside the house during the critical hours surrounding Hackman's death. The FBI's forensic audio team conducted an in-depth analysis of the recording recovered from Gene Hackman's device. Specialists used advanced sound enhancement technology to isolate and amplify background noises. After extensive processing, investigators confirmed the presence of a second voice in the recording, raising new concerns about the initial cause of death determination. The second voice was faint but distinguishable, captured beneath Hackman's speech and the environmental sounds within the home. FBI officials confirmed that the voice did not belong to Hackman or his wife, Betsy Arakawa. Analysts used voice pattern recognition technology to compare the unidentified speaker with individuals who had been previously interviewed during the investigation. While authorities have not released a confirmed identity, sources close to the case stated that the voice matched a known associate of the couple. Further examination of the audio revealed distinct anomalies, including a sudden thud and the sound of rapid footsteps. Investigators determined that these sounds occurred immediately after Hackman spoke a single name. The timing of these noises suggests that the moment of recording may have captured the actor's final seconds before a physical altercation or medical emergency. Authorities are now attempting to match the timestamp of the recording with the estimated time of death. If the recording aligns with Hackman's last known moments, it could provide critical evidence in determining whether he was in distress due to a natural cause or external interference. The FBI has also expanded its analysis beyond the recording itself, reviewing Hackman's recent phone calls, emails, and security footage from neighboring homes. Investigators believe that additional digital records may provide further clarity on whether the second voice belonged to someone who had a reason to be at the property that night. Officials have not yet disclosed whether the individual in the recording has been contacted or brought in for questioning. However, law enforcement sources confirmed that the case has shifted from an unexplained death to an active criminal inquiry, with new developments expected in the coming weeks. Following the discovery of a second voice in the recording, FBI investigators began reviewing all known associates of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa. Their focus quickly shifted to a specific individual whose name was spoken by Hackman in his final moments. This person had previously been questioned as part of the routine investigation, but was not considered a suspect at the time. Authorities have not publicly released the individual's identity, but sources confirmed that they had a direct connection to the Hackman household. This connection was established through financial records, phone call logs, and past interactions with the couple. Investigators also discovered that this person had visited the residence multiple times in the weeks leading up to the deaths. Law enforcement officials reviewed surveillance footage from nearby homes, looking for any evidence of this individual's presence on the property. Initial findings indicated that the suspect's vehicle was seen in the area on multiple occasions, including on February 17th, the same day Hackman's pacemaker registered its final activity. Additional forensic examination of Hackman's home uncovered physical evidence linked to the suspect. Although no clear signs of struggle were found at the time of the initial investigation, newer forensic techniques identified trace elements belonging to the individual in question. Investigators believe this evidence could support a theory that Hackman's final moments involved direct contact with this person. Authorities are now determining whether this individual had a financial or personal motive in the case. FBI analysts have confirmed that Hackman's estate and financial transactions are under review to identify any recent changes or unusual activity. Additionally, reports suggest that Hackman may have had an unresolved dispute with this person, raising further questions about their interactions in the days leading up to his death. The FBI has not yet issued a formal arrest, but officials confirmed that the case has shifted into a high-priority investigation. Legal experts anticipate that authorities will move forward with a suspect interrogation in the coming days based on the mounting evidence. The FBI's discovery of Gene Hackman's final recording raised immediate concerns about why the file was nearly erased and why it took advanced forensic recovery methods to retrieve it. Investigators determined that Hackman's personal device, which stored the recording, was missing when authorities first processed the crime scene. The device was only recovered weeks later from a location outside the residence, raising suspicions that it had been intentionally removed. Sources familiar with the investigation revealed that the file was deliberately altered, with sections of the audio corrupted or deleted before forensic teams restored it. Law enforcement officials are now examining whether the data was tampered with by someone attempting to erase evidence. The FBI is tracing who had access to Hackman's personal belongings in the hours and days following his death. The individual identified in Hackman's last words was not initially a suspect, but is now under renewed scrutiny due to their potential involvement in the concealment of evidence. Investigators are analyzing whether this person, or someone associated with them, had the means to remove the device from the scene and attempt to destroy the recording. Authorities also reviewed internal case files from the original investigation and found gaps in the chain of custody for Hackman's electronic devices. The FBI is now questioning whether early investigative mistakes were accidental oversights or part of a broader attempt to misdirect the case. FBI agents have confirmed that Hackman's recording changes the official timeline of events, and the case is no longer considered an isolated tragedy. Officials are preparing to take further action against those involved in concealing or tampering with evidence. Following weeks of investigation, FBI agents confronted the individual identified in Gene Hackman's final recording. Officials confirmed that this person had been brought in for formal questioning after forensic audio analysis linked their voice to the recovered recording. Authorities have been monitoring the suspect's activities and reviewing past interactions with Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa. During the interrogation, investigators played the restored recording for the suspect. The moment Hackman's voice whispered their name, their demeanor changed. Law enforcement officials observed a noticeable shift in behavior, including visible signs of discomfort, hesitation, and changes in speech patterns. The suspect initially denied any involvement, but inconsistencies in their responses prompted further scrutiny. Investigators presented additional evidence, including cell phone data, surveillance footage, and forensic traces found inside Hackman's residence. These findings contradicted the suspect's earlier statements regarding their whereabouts and relationship with Hackman in the days leading up to his death. FBI officials stated that the suspect's reaction to the confrontation raised further suspicions, leading authorities to intensify their focus on possible motives. Authorities are now examining whether the suspect had a financial interest or a personal dispute with Hackman, as recent forensic accounting reviews revealed unusual financial activity linked to the actor's estate. Additionally, discrepancies in the suspect's past statements about their access to Hackman's home have prompted further investigation into how they may have gained entry. Law enforcement sources confirmed that the interrogation is part of a larger effort to build a formal case. While no public arrest has been made yet, officials stated that charges could be imminent as investigators finalize key findings. The FBI continues to analyze all remaining evidence before proceeding with the next legal steps. FBI officials confirmed that a key piece of evidence has now solidified the case against the primary suspect. After analyzing Hackman's final recording, forensic data, and physical evidence, investigators uncovered a direct link connecting the suspect to the crime scene. One of the most critical findings was a recovered fingerprint on Hackman's missing device, which was found outside the residence weeks after the initial investigation. Forensic analysis confirmed that the print belonged to the suspect, proving that they handled the device after Hackman's death. This discovery aligned with digital forensic reports showing that the recording file had been deliberately tampered with, further confirming an attempt to destroy evidence. Additionally, financial records revealed a sudden transfer of funds from an account linked to Hackman shortly before his death. Investigators are now exploring whether the suspect had a financial motive, as they had access to Hackman's estate. Authorities are now working to finalize charges. The case has officially shifted to a criminal prosecution phase, with law enforcement stating that an arrest is expected soon. The FBI has declared Hackman's final recording a crucial piece of evidence in securing justice for his death.